I'm sitting on my landing outside my house, thinking I need to do something about these straggly looking plants. Hey, but have a look at this beautiful tree. I actually need to trim this back too because it's getting so tall. And I don't want this gigantic native tree right next to my front door getting too big, but isn't it beautiful? I love it. I love having it near the front door. I love the trunk and the leaves, but yeah, look how tall it's getting. The trick is to not let it go over that roof line. Hello, two people. Going for another walk. I've been for a walk and a swim today already. But I feel like another walk, a stroll. It's only meant to be 23 degrees today, but inside my house, hey, Ruth from that bush peeping through. Yeah, it was apparently only 23 degrees today, but I'm wearing like a sundress, not much to it kind of sundress, and it's 27 degrees in my house, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It definitely feels much hotter than 23. Hey, Cass, how you doing? And I've been pretty reclusive since the sort of Christmas shenanigans and the news of being there dying. I've been at home and I've been really happy to be at home, and I've done some really gentle, lovely things. But I thought I'll go live, bit of company on a stroll, and it's so pretty down here today. It was beautiful this morning. How you guys doing? It's nearly the end of 2020. I don't know about you guys, but it's got to be the weirdest year of my life. And not weird in a bad way, like unprecedented. How you doing?
How are you?
Good, thank you. Yeah, what a year. I think someone in my little memorial that Mel and I did for Mem yesterday made a comment about being there couldn't possibly have left us in a year that wasn't significant. It's very fitting that 2020 is when she decided to leave us. Hey, Planet Sunshine. Pre-New Year cleaning. We will enjoy the views and the fresh air. It's going to sound weird, but enjoy the cleaning. I actually don't mind doing housework. I love it at the end. It's worth the effort. But let's talk about housework that we don't like. I know I'm not alone in this one, but I think it's such a weird one. But I'm one of those people that I find putting clothes away really boring. And I started folding everything in my drawers, like Marie Kondo style. I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll get into putting clothes away if everything's kind of like Japanese origami. My friend who lived in Okinawa in Japan taught me how to do the folding before Marie Kondo even hit the scene, but it's the same Japanese style of folding clothes. But I think most people, even though I've minimalised my wardrobe significantly, but most people tend to wear the same dozen outfits in rotation. Hey, Francesca. I haven't tried the baked cheese yet. I'm not going to be doing that one. It's just me. But thanks for the recipes. Yeah, but I'll wait till I'm entertaining people to do that. Yeah, exactly. So your temperature's about the same. So you're in below zero if you're 23 Fahrenheit, because 32 Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius. So you've got a little negative line in front of yours. And here I am, I'm walking in flip-flops and a sundress at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And Tassie, where I live, isn't known for being a hot part of Australia. I mean, we do get hot weather, but we don't have like weeks and weeks of heat waves over 40 degrees Celsius like other parts of the country. Quite a few surfers out. There's not been much of a swell. I haven't taken my boogie board out. Hello there. Did you have a nice Chrissy? Yeah, but not you. I'm not showing your lusciousness to the world. Hi, Gareth. Hopefully I'll see you again before, but if not, Happy New Year. If I don't see you again before Happy New Year, I'm just going to go into town and catch up with a couple of friends, and then I'm coming back down here to catch up with some other friends to see in the new year. Pretty quiet. Yeah. I don't really want to, but that's just a pain in the ass. But I'm only going to go in for a couple of hours at like 6 o'clock. And then I've got friends who bought a place down here having a barbie on New Year's Day, so that'll be fun. What about you guys? Are you here?
Yeah, we did. Oh, no, we have been to town the last couple of years, but another great idea.
No, I've just lost another friend, so I'm quite happy. Yeah.
Suddenly?
No, that's one of the reasons I'm live, because a lot of people on YouTube knew her, but yeah, it's kind of killed my mojo for any partying. Yeah, it is. But you're quite happy just to have a quiet one, but I'll go in and see the boys, and then I'll be back down here by 8:39. I reckon I'll go and catch up with some friends, and I may not even make it to midnight. Exactly. See you soon. Sorry about that, Grievous. Anyone who goes on walks with me regularly knows I seem to bump into people a lot, which I love. It's one of the reasons I was out and about, because as much as I've loved the opportunity to chill out at home with Biscuit, and I've done some really lovely things in the last 24 hours, the 2 days prior to that I was just numb. So it was nice to do some things. But what were we talking about? We were talking icicles. Jesus, see, we don't even get icicles here. Planet, try white vinegar with water spray for windows. Yeah, that's a good trick. How beautiful is it? The snow or the scenery? Oh, Francesca, you're a sweetheart. I feel incredibly lucky that we met. I was actually meant to say to Mel last night, yesterday afternoon, like when we actually met her and where, because I don't know, well, I do know why. A YouTube creator said that Mel and I had come to YouTube from the same community, which isn't actually true. But yeah, how the three of us sort of met, and when. I'm pretty sure I met being there during the whole analyzer scandal. Her name wasn't being there back then. And Mel, I don't know if I just gravitated towards her because it's another, we're all Australian. I don't know. Have a nice swim. It's refreshing, isn't it? You weren't on the camera. Oh. But yeah, just trying to. Oh, they are. Thank you. God, I would have been both ways. I shouldn't bring my good sunnies to the beach. Oh, thank you. What a nice girl. So I dropped my sunnies. Hey, Mercedes girl. The other thing with cleaning windows, I mean, I tend to use paper towel because I've got some good paper towel at the moment, but newspaper is also really good to clean windows with. It's not good for much else, but it's good for that. But yeah, I thought after our little, it wasn't little, Mel put in a massive effort, but after our tribute to being there finished, I was like, oh shit, we should have talked about when we met her. I mean, I feel like I've known her my whole life, so when and where we met's kind of a bit of a blur. I like being there. She's always nice to talk to. And she said, yeah, she was. She was. And she had to deal with so much. I think, you know, um, anyone that's living with a terminal illness, people should make allowances. She didn't use it as an excuse for her shitty behaviour. But people are generally, I find in life, way more mindful and thoughtful when someone is battling a disease because it doesn't just mess with your body, it messes with your mind and everything else. And I've got two other friends who are terminally ill at the moment, and one of them is very blunt and open and happy to talk about anything like Mem was. But occasionally she'll forget something or she'll say something that doesn't necessarily come out the right way. And, you know, we should be gentle with everybody that we love, but I'm especially gentle with her because I don't want her to have turmoil and things that cause her stress, especially when it was just over something minor, you know what I mean? And people were cruel to her, incredibly cruel, you know, and really I feel that the people who were cruel to her should have laid down their swords because everyone knew Mem was sick and fix it behind the scenes or agree to disagree or move on. And don't get me wrong, you know, Mem wasn't an innocent party in terms of talking about it and stuff, but at the end of the day, you kind of go, well, she's terminally ill and on a cocktail of medications that could be doing all kinds of things to her thought processes and so on. And not only that, she's in constant pain. Maybe I'll just lay down my sword, you know, acknowledge with gratitude that she came into my life, and even though we're not friends anymore, this isn't me talking, this is me hypothetically being a YouTube creator, even though we're not friends anymore, I'm grateful for loving her at the time. And, you know, it's like that saying that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. It's actually okay when someone's in your lifetime for a season and that season comes to an end to to still hold that person in high regard for the time you had them when things were good, you know what I mean? Yeah, no, I've travelled and lived in so many places, Francesca. Honestly, like friends of mine do call me the kiss of death, which isn't great. But I've had, because I've lived in so many different places and worked in different places and gone to different unis, and I'm generally in the past, I mean, I'm not now sort of appreciating a quieter lifestyle now, but I was incredibly social. I mean, I was a breakfast radio announcer, so I've met a lot of people through that. I did comedy, you know, like I've met a lot of people and I've kept in touch with a lot of them too. But yeah, December's the worst month in terms of, like, Mem's death really hit me, and I think a lot of it was repressed grief. For 3 years ago, I lost 6 incredibly important people to me in a 3-week period all around now. So, like, today is actually the anniversary. Not that I what's the word, memorialise anniversaries of funerals, but one of my friends, Ali, who died on Boxing Day 3 years ago, today was her funeral. And I also know that tomorrow is the anniversary of the death of another beautiful friend of mine, Scott, who was one of the 6 that year as well. And then I had my gorgeous friend Lou, who died last year in December, and now Mem. So I was saying to a friend of mine today, it's like December is just this month of death with, and even my mum's birthday, you know, that birthdays of dead parents are always a bit weird. And then sort of Christmas Day is like, you will be jolly. Just the season to be jolly. And I'm not a brooder. I'm not a person that just sort of sits around home and mopes. I love honouring and celebrating the lives of the people I've lost. But yeah, I kind of feel like my departure daters, as I'm calling them, um, I'd like people in future to choose a different month, at least for a few more years, because my calendar in December for departure dates is pretty heavy. Exactly, you don't have to be a bastard about it, Francesca. And even if things have ended badly, um, and there's things that are unresolved, how about trying to resolve them offline? You know, I mean, I know that for Mem, her disease isolated her so much from every aspect of her life, her real life, and YouTube became her social world. I mean, even her sister said, you know, I'm so glad that you girls, meaning Mel and I, found her and kept her company, because we were very aware that she was on her own a lot. I was like, dude, she was popping up on channels all over YouTube around the clock. She was busy. But yeah, I never liked the slinging match when it was happening. I kind of understand why Mem chose to, especially towards the end, get pretty vocal on YouTube about it. But she was also living with a lot of anxiety and stress and even depression because of her illness. And that really was her only outlet. But what really sucked was, you know, it was all about her generosity. And that was a very sad thing to witness, but I hope people learn some things from it, although I'm kind of starting to think there's a section of YouTube which I've unsubscribed from that are never going to change, and they're just going to always be fighting with each other because people tune in, and I just don't want to be one of them. You watch me next year, I'm going to provide a happy, positive, funny little corner of YouTube. I don't care if my channel, when I get my big channel back, when I say big for me, my Yum Tours channel on the 4th of January, I don't care if I ever get another sub on there. I love the subs I've got. And it's like, hey guys, I'm cooking, come hang, I'm on the beach, come hang, we're going for a drive. But I also want us to talk about positive sort of topics and also negative topics. Exactly, Francesca. And as we get older too, like, we do run out of fucks to give, like our fucks to give budget runs out, and it's really important that the remaining fucks you have left to give, you give to people that you genuinely love and care about, and it's a reciprocal friendship. I've distanced myself from people in the last few years because I did pour a lot of energy into friendships that were a one-way street. And then when I got sick last year, quite a few people who I had been there for whatever they were going through, constantly being there for them, still haven't contacted me. Still don't actually know what happened to me. So yeah, if I bump into them, of course I'll be polite. There's even people on YouTube who've done some pretty shitty things to people that I care about, or even to me, and I'm still polite if I see them around the traps. I don't want to be their friends again. But it's the way I was raised, you know, like, you can still say thank you if they've said something nice and be polite and move on. There was drama with Kitchen Lady. Who's Kitchen Lady? Tell me about Kitchen Lady. I'm sad to read she got cruelly scammed, but who's Kitchen Lady? Tell me about kitchen lady, Francesca. The water is so warm. It was really, really calm here when I left the house. It's now that turn of the living on a. If any of you have ever lived on beaches, you'll know about the 4 o'clock turn. And here we are at 4:07, right on cue. The weather turns when you live on a beach because the tides are changing. So we've had low tide, not light tide, low tide. Now it's starting to come in, and the wind shifts. And because the ocean is straight out there, although this is all part of the bay here, I can be at home sitting in a sundress, bare feet, around this time, happily out on the deck reading a book, and the next minute I'm putting on leggings and a cardigan and Ugg boots. Oh, MRB, kitchen lady. Gotcha. She was. Oh, I did see. Look at that view. Hey guys, check out my. Can you see my arm? Maybe not. Hang on. Look at the rash I've got. It's like scratches. And when it was really prominent, it looked like writing almost. Anyway, I googled it. There's nothing wrong with it. I've taken an antihistamine. But that's just sometimes how rashes appear. It looks like I've been scratched and I haven't. It's actually a skin disorder. Apparently it keeps happening. I should go and see a doctor. Yeah, I didn't connect with the MRB thing. She was live when Mel and I finished, and I've ended up sort of accidentally watching a lot of MRB because I've got YouTube on autoplay, and she's usually live around the time I'm cooking dinner or cleaning up the kitchen or something. I mean, not every day. I don't have YouTube on every day, but because Mel and I have been live and it ended, and I did catch wind of it. I mean, I didn't listen to it for very long because it sounded like a very, very full-on saga, and I did see a few people commenting in chat that it was like a soap opera or a novel. But yeah, she had this friend who played the role of not only a friend but also the daughter of this woman. She even visited her. That was the bit I heard. Like she and kitchen lady caught up in February or something. I don't know what year. And then, yeah, this daughter that had a brain tumour or something, and the same woman was playing the two roles and emailing Carolyn as two completely, like a mother-daughter combo. Is that right? Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? It's like a painting. The sky. I don't know if the wind has got worse or bad for you. It's worse for me. I'm walking into it. Let me know, guys, because I can keep going this way down to Carlton River if it's better this way, or if it's better this way for you, I'll keep going this way even though I've got the wind fully in my face. Put a 1 if you want me to go towards the bluff, which is this way, or a 2 if you want me to turn around and go back the other way. Stayed with her for 2 weeks. Holy shit. I wonder if while she was staying with her, she was also emailing as the daughter. Is Mum okay? Having fun with Mum? Isn't that crazy? And if it happened this year, that's even worse because of the year that Carolyn's had. See, it's funny, like, I don't really feel like I belong to any side on YouTube, but one of the reasons I had a bit of a break from it was because so many people that are on sides were contacting me behind the scenes to say they didn't like that so-and-so was in my chat. And I was like, look, as long as they come in and they're respectful of other YouTube creators, whoever's up on panel, and me, I don't give a shit who's in my chat. And subs have come and gone, but I don't have any. There's no, ill feelings towards any of them. But yeah, I just found people were messaging. I don't like that. I'm not going to go up on your panel if so. Well, fuck, that's your problem, not mine. Don't message me about it. Yeah, how weird, Francesca. People are so weird. But yeah, I mean, me just mentioning Mommy Ramblings, if a couple of people who aren't fans of hers wandered into my chat right now, they'd be like, "Oh, fuck Tori, I'm unsubscribing." Because she listened to Mommy Ramblings while she was doing the dishes yesterday. Fuck her. And that's what I can't be bothered with. There's a fickle element to YouTube. Fuck them. Like I said, if my channel, when I get it back, stays the same size, I'm happy with that. I really love the guys that I have in my subs list. And, you're all great company. It's nice. I mean, I go for a bit of a power walk on the beach in the morning, but it's nice to just go for a stroll and have a bit of a chat. And I'm partly like doing this because I was getting a message from Mem. She was like, get down on that beach. Get out of the house. You can keep, because I was starting to write. And I've always been a person who feels guilty if it's beautiful outside and I'm sitting indoors doing something. So yeah, exactly, Francesca. And that's how you should treat channels. And that's how I do when I go into chats. And I've been flitting around lots of channels that are probably, sworn enemies. And if they get shitty, oh, I saw you in that person's chat, I don't care. It's not my problem. I can go to places and I can go wherever the fuck I want, but I can go to places and still, I don't care about going into channels if they're all bitching and ripping each other to shreds. But if someone's doing something that's entertaining, I don't give a shit what side they're on. I just want to be entertained. And I certainly wouldn't have a go at other subs in those people's chats, or but yeah, there's a fickle side. I think YouTube's got so much potential as long as you stay on top of why you're using the platform and don't buy into all the other crap that's going on. I mean, I swear to God, if I hear the word doxing one more time, I'm going to lose it. Every day, so many creators alive. You pop in, the so-and-so docs so-and-so. It's like, oh, fuck. Moving right along. When I created my channel, it was my full name. I wanted to use it to promote my comedy. And I didn't even think about doxing. And then all of these other Australian channels, like even being there, we're all using our real names. So many moderators and people that I met on YouTube, I still know them from their original YouTube names, and it was their full names. Like we've got much stricter privacy laws here, which is awesome. But none of us thought, oh, better not use our full names. I mean, my name actually worked to my advantage because it was so similar to Tori Hartman that Duty Ron, if I popped into his chat, oh, everyone subscribed to Tori. She's the author of some award-winning books and blah, blah, blah. I was like, wrong Tori, dude, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Exactly. Quality over quantity any day, but I hope you get to 1,000 subs soon. Well, Planet Sunshine, one of the things I was doing today, I love curation journals, and this is the week to get it all sort of, well, not to get it all done, but to, spend a lot of time just working out things that I want to do for the year and habits and all that sort of stuff, and a bucket list. And on my bucket list this year for YouTube is I want to be by up to 2,000 by the end of next year on my big channel. And I haven't set a goal yet for Smooth Criminal, but I'm thinking 800. Although Smooth Criminal is really the bulk of the people that follow my podcast followed on podcast platforms. The YouTube channel was really there because I could automatically publish onto YouTube, which you can't do anymore. I have to do it manually. But also, it just provided an opportunity for people who are following me on my main channel to subscribe to that if they wanted to listen to my weekly podcast. It is so gorgeous here. You'd never use your real name on social media. Well, see, I've been in the public eye my whole life, even not just because of the family I was born into, but also, I've had public roles. Like I was breakfast announcer for 7 years, and I've been doing stand-up comedy since the late 90s, and I perform as me. So, dog piling is a term I've also heard, but not properly. Love dogs. Do dogs pile? What is dog piling? Is that like a whole heap of people all jumping on the bandwagon to sort of join in a fight or something? Is that what dog piling is? Is the wind better this way or this way? Or worse? One, if it's bad this way. Two, if it's bad that way. Dog piling. I know they do piles of poo sometimes. Hello, beautiful people. Did you have a nice pretty? Oh, nice. I had 11 up on mine, but it was still very dodgy. Yeah. Sorry, the cameras.
Oh, like Tony and they came out for Boxing Day for a big lunch and they stayed Boxing Day.
Oh, nice.
A big family catch up the next day.
Yeah, but I'm sure I were on with Christmas last year, and I did something like that.
It was quite nice. It was nice to the boys on Christmas Day, and it was really nice to the next.
Yeah. What about the year? Do you have quite one as well?
Yeah, we have to pay. Maybe got some friends that no one's going to turn up. That's
Got
it.
friends.
Yeah. Same. No, you just sit back on the ground and just sit at home. Yeah, that's enough travel. Good.
Nice. So, well, I hope you have a nice
Yeah.
evening, whatever you get up to.
How did you do that? Well, woken up today and I've been waking up really, really early every day. I open my time. They used to say the best like day. My eyes are all bloodshot. It's caught up with me. I'm just like, yeah, that's right.
You're so beautiful. Bye. All right, we're going to go this way. Dog piling is not two. I've forgotten which is two. So the wind is worse this way. Is that what two was? Shit, you had a Facebook friend. That's no good, Francesca. I'm glad you put it up before they did it. Football part, like, yeah, when they all sort of. It's a football player dog piling. So it's worse this way, is it? Even though for me it's nicer. The wind is worse in this direction. I'll just wait. They're my friends Jackie and Mark. Feel good. Like, this is why I like coming down here. I catch up with my friends. We're a very close-knit community because over the winter there's like 2,000 of us, and then in summer, well, there's between 2,000 and 3,000 permanent residents. But then in summer it gets up to like 6,000 people. So we all get pretty close during the winter months. Everyone's on the beach usually. Walking at some point during the day. Worse that way. All right, so we go this way. Jackie and Mark are heading home now anyway. They just live up off the dunes. If I was a really good shot, I could throw a pebble from my balcony. It would land on that roof. Oh no, I did do a very good shot. A slingshot. Um, yeah, so doxing, pardon me, I'd learned that term in my Facebook community. Um, but the doxing that happened in my Facebook community was like hardcore, ringing employers and all that. Like it was done with malicious intent. A lot of these YouTubers have just changed what words mean and they all jump onto it and use it all the time and it's wrong. If somebody accidentally says another creator's name, I mean, like, for example, Hello Starlight, when she was first on YouTube when I met her, she was Marianne T. Everyone knows her name's Marianne. If someone calls her Marianne, even though she's using Hello Starlight, now that's not doxing. It's just using their name. Yeah, don't get scammed. You would be very happy here, Francesca. Everyone's very happy here. I don't know if you could hear Jackie and Mark just then, but they were talking about how they didn't get out of bed till after midday today. That makes happy people. I can't lie in bed that long. And I'd have to get incredibly drunk to sleep past midday. In fact, even back in the days when I did drink, even if I'd had a big night, I'd still wake up bright and early. I'm looking down. I'm hoping I'm going to find a heart-shaped shell or rock. I've got a lot of heart-shaped things in my house. And my mum, who wasn't very good at saying I love you before she died, had stockpiled a heap of hearts, like glass, metal, fabric, all sorts of hearts. And she hid them all over the house. So when she'd gone, we'd open up little containers and there'd be a heart sitting on top. It was really sweet. It was sort of her way of saying I love you. She wasn't very good at saying it when she was alive. Not that we didn't feel loved by her, but she just didn't say it. And yeah, I keep thinking I'm going to find a little heart-shaped shell. Mem was saying, I can't walk. Get back down on the beach. And yeah, I was also getting this pretty strong vibe about finding a heart-shaped shell. So let's see if I was right. And trust me, they're not common here. It's usually a broken shell that creates a heart shape. And it's got to be like an obvious heart. I just walked past one that was more like a kidney. I'm not going to say, oh, look, I found one. How amazing. It's got to look like a heart. Oh, check this out. I don't understand. There's a heart in the sand. Look at this. I don't want to touch it to see what it is. But it's like, it's raised. And it looks like sort of, I don't know. I used to love these. Did any of you used to find these shells on the beach? They're called Chinese fingernails when we were kids. They're probably just called fingernails now. But they were named, those Chinese men that had the crazy long fingernails, but they fit perfectly on your finger. We used to pretend we had ridiculous long fingernails. Yeah, Mum's little gifts were gorgeous. It was a really sweet way of her letting us know that she loved us. And like I said, it's not that we didn't feel loved to an extent. She just wasn't good at expressing it and saying it. She wasn't a hugger. She was a very warm person, but she just wasn't a fan of the hug or the gushy I love you sort of shit. Eggs. Yeah, I don't know what they were. They looked like little tentacles that were upside down, sticking up through the sand, but I don't know. They were sort of on the end of stems. I've never seen anything like that before. If I find a stick, I'll pick it up, and when we go back, I'll dig it up and see what it is. Might be the very end of a sea monster that's hiding, waiting for the tide to come back in. But yeah, so doxing, that's one word that needs to be dropped. But people need to stop doing it too. But there's a lot of people who've been accused of doing it who haven't technically, if you're following the actual definition of the word, doxed anybody. Like I chatted the other day, I didn't think about how someone mentioned that a YouTube sub was Jewish. Oh my God, you're doxing her religion. It's like she's talking about being Jewish. Like, it's not doxing her to say that she's Jewish. Yeah, people are weird. So weird. The other one that's flipped my tit a lot on YouTube, and I've talked about it before, is white knighting. Now, even though I did Google it because I was like, I over dictionaried it. It's like, let's see if there's any heart-shaped things up here. These are the little see these little dots of sand? These are the little soldier crab burrows. So they've already come out during low tide, and they all go down to the water and they feed, and then they come back and dig new little tunnels. And they're down underneath there, and they'll stay there till tomorrow when they come back up for more food. They're wicked. I'm going back this way, sorry if the wind's bad, because I just know how pretty this is. And I'm talking with the wind blowing in my mouth, and it's like, enough. I need water. The cross kiss mark isn't used in Japan. In fact, it means wrong or no. Oh, so I think something's the matter. Yeah, I mean, we had crosses meaning wrong at school too, but yeah, I do the little kisses all the time. I'll have to check if I'm doing it that it's to somebody Japanese. I agree, Francesca. And, you know, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people on YouTube were sick of it a long time ago, but we're all at the point now where it's just like, people just all keep doing what you're doing. I'm not giving you the money by giving you the view. I'm over it. I think there's a potential for a lot of positivity on this platform. You just can't go on. As soon as you turn your microphone or your camera on and you start bitching about someone, your future on YouTube is defined. You are going to be bitching on YouTube until you get sick of YouTube and get a life and move the fuck on. Because you're like, oh, it's my turn, I get to reply, and I've told you guys many times that I just want to show you this shell. I'm just washing it, it's so pretty. Oh, there are thousands of soldier crabs. They're tiny, they're not ones you can catch and eat. Oh shit, have I frozen? Like, Chad hasn't, but that sucks. I can't show you my shell. Maybe you've got a still photo now, because Chad just moved again. I'll walk back up to where my thongs, my flip-flops, where they are. I'm going to wait and see if Chad moves again, or if I am truly frozen. Did that fix it? Yes. It's not frozen. No, it's not for you guys. It was for me. All right. So yeah, check this beautiful shout out. I hope the blues are as bright as they are for me. Reminds me of some little. My grandmother made me pottery and my sister some pottery when we were little for our doll's house, and it was she'd paint it blue and white and then glaze it, and it reminds me of that. When I'm next at home, remind me to show you some of her things. I don't think Twitter's a cesspool if you're on there just to follow people that you enjoy, like musicians and journalists and artists, and I mean, some people even politicians, and you're just on there to interact with them. But I've heard creators talking about, oh, I was in my Twitter private chat and stuff. I was like, I can't be bothered with that. If you're not going to chat with me in Messenger or on the phone or email or on YouTube, we don't need to chat. There's too many platforms. I really like Twitter. I used to love tweeting The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and I got published in quite a few different magazines and online as, 10 of the funniest tweets from Survivor this week. And I really enjoyed it. But the only thing frozen at that end is you. Poor Ruth, stay warm, darling. But yeah, I kind of fallen off the Twitters, and even Biscuit's Instagram's quite neglected. These guys are playing some sort of, they're playing volleyball without a net right in front of where my thongs are, and if I walk towards them, they're going to think hi, can I come and play with you guys? They're going to be like, not today, Satan. Isn't it weird? Here I am walking on the beach barefoot. Everyone down on the beach is in bathers. People are still swimming. There's still some surfers out. In the last few weeks, because heaps of people have been down here for summer, quite a few locals have reported their thongs have been stolen. So we're all like dropping them up in the dunes, and every time I go to get them, I can't remember where they are. I'm like, great. You've got a jumper on. Tassie sun is very hot. I'm glad you know that and understand that. So many mainlanders are like, oh, it's fucking freezing down there. Like, I'm tanned from walking on the beach every day for the last couple of months. I haven't been lying in the sun or sunbathing. But like, I'm tanned. And friends of mine that have just come down from Melbourne over Christmas are lily white. I mean, admittedly, they were in lockdown for a while, but they haven't had a lot of sunny weather at all, well, according to my cousin Tom. A thong thief. I know. I found them. They're here. The ones I got teased for because they are Crocs, but they're so comfy, these thongs, seriously. I can't wear Havaianas anymore. I'd never buy the Croc clog. Although my sister and I, years and years ago, we both, and I'm not ashamed to tell this story. I mean, I kind of am, but it happened. We go to a lot of music festivals, and one year the weather was looking really wet but hot, and it's not unusual for us to wear gumboots to music festivals, but it's kind of like, fuck, it's really hot, but it's going to be wet and muddy. And we both went, wonder if Crocs would do the trick. And it was back when Crocs had only just come out. They still weren't cool, even back then, but they weren't as hated as they are now. Anyway, we wore Crocs, and it's a 5-day music festival, and I shit you not, they were the most comfortable shoes to wear at a music festival ever. Mind you, by the next year, no one would be seen dead in public with Crocs on, so both of our pairs of Crocs were relegated to the gardening. Basket, like I've got a basket full of garbage. Or just shitty old shoes I haven't quite chucked out yet. I don't know why people are stealing songs because it's not even like they're not. It's not like they're taking the nicer pair and leaving their shitty pair behind, and it sucks because the walk back up through the sand dunes for the first minute is sand, but then it's like really prickly, dry, grassy, sharp, pointy stones. Sort of. It's not a nice barefoot walk. So yeah. You'd have to leave your house if the heat was out. So, what is your heat out or something, Ruth? Oh, it's still not fixed. Fuck. That sucks. Have you got like 83 layers of clothes on and every beanie you own? And it was like my house. I had a blackout during winter here, and most people were out of power for about 6 hours, but I was like in the grid, the last grid to get put back on. So we had nothing for 10 hours. And luckily, I thought about dinner, and even though it was midday when the power went out, and I went and bought food, and I've got a gas barbecue, so I was able to cook dinner and also boil water. But Biscuit and I were at home. It was so cold, so cold, and it was nowhere near as cold as it could be for you, Groovers. And when the power finally came back on, I was like, right, I'm putting the hydronic heating back on, but the generator needed to be restarted, and it was like so late, and it was dark. So I just dragged an old panel heater down to my bedroom and bunkered down in there with Biscuit. But yeah, we got really cold. And Biscuit runs hot. She didn't get cold. If she was really cold, she would have gone under my doona, or under a blanket or something, but she never does. But we ended up just getting into bed with I had every piece of clothing on. Yeah, it was pretty bleak. Bright pink jelly bean sandals for music festivals. Yeah, they would have been anything classic, and that's why the Crocs are really good because we were able to clean them. But they actually, like orthopedically, they were supportive as well. They were comfy to walk in. And music festivals are running from stage to stage, and you cover a lot of kilometres in a day on foot at a music festival. They were insanely comfy. But I've got to say, these Croc thongs, I've never had them before. I bought a fabulous pair of thongs in Hawaii 2 years ago, but they've stretched. It's so weird. Like they're not orthotic, but they're orthopedic, sort of like they're air pillow sort of thongs. But it's so weird. Like I put them on now, and it looks like I accidentally bought a pair of thongs that an old man would be able to wear. It's like they've expanded, and they're just starting to look really shitty and gigantic. So I did a bit of snooping around, and the word around town was try Crocs thongs. They're unbelievable, and I've got to give them credit. They fucking are. Oh, you do have hot water. Oh, thank God. See, we didn't even have that, and that's one thing. At least you can go and have a hot shower or a hot bath if you need to warm up. We had nothing. And like I said, it was nowhere near as cold as it gets for you guys. But not having any hot water was... I mean, I didn't have any water either. So, like I went out and boiled as much water as I could so I could do the dishes and cook dinner if I needed water for that, or have a cuppa. But I wasn't able to reheat it. And I gave away my camping stove a couple of years ago, so I couldn't even get my little trangia out and boil some water in that. But I could boil it out on the deck on the barbecue. But once it gets dark, Biscuit and I are inside because I've got possums and wildlife, and I don't want her killing any of the wildlife, but I also don't want any of the wildlife attacking her. So it was a race against the clock. And I was filling up these thermoses, so I still had enough hot water for cups of tea throughout the night. And then food started to defrost in the fridge, and it's like, fuck, I did a massive cook up the next day. Yeah, we had so many cool pairs of gum boots. I had a Hello Kitty pair one year at Blues Fest. I loved them. They were red and white polka dots with Hello Kitty on the back, little badges on the back. They were really cute. I've still got really cool gum boots. My sister and I, the last time we went to Blues Fest, we found at Kmart for $11 these little gum boots that pretty much look like Blundstones. And Angie's are olive green and mine are black. And until I bought my proper Blunnies this year, I was living in those gum boots. Whenever I'd normally be wearing Blunnies, I was wearing those gum boots. I've still got them. They are still super comfy. I love the look of gum boots with a little festival dress. I think it's such a cute look, and a little cute bobby felt hippie hat. That's pretty much my uniform at a music festival. Yeah, I feel alive in the warmth too. The sun on your skin, like just even just sitting here right now, it's so lovely. And this beach is just, I feel so fortunate that I live here. It takes my breath away every single day. Like, I don't take this place for granted. It blows my mind. This is my front yard. The frog wellies, I know those, they're cute. You can get matching umbrellas with those. And they've got like the bug eye stands up on top of the umbrella once it's open. God, I've had black patent leather ones that have been lined with wool. They sort of have like a wool sock that is inside and sort of rolls over the top. I've had red ones. I had ones one year that had koi fish painted all over them. The Hello Kitty ones, which were mainly red with white polka dots and yeah, little Hello Kitty badges down the back on the seam. They were pretty awesome. One year I just had like hardware shop plain black gumboots, and I mean, holy fuck, they were as tough as nails, but they weighed a ton, and I got a really bad back on those ones. I love sharing the beach with you, Groovers. It's just, yeah, every day I come down here, I'm like, wow. I mean, Tassie is beautiful. Doesn't matter where you go. I seriously will start doing more drives, and you'll see for yourselves that every corner you go around. And Australia, mainland Australia, is very similar in lots of places too. Like, just some incredibly beautiful spots. And I've started watching some channels in the States. They're not people that are traveling around America at the moment, but like, I follow a lot of dudes driving around countries in camper vans, hoping that they'll find a kitten or a puppy on the way and keep them, because a lot of them do. But I've been seeing some pretty amazing landscapes from North America, like right up near the Canada border. You would have to be careful. Don't want to burn. Yeah, I love that you love sharing the beach too. It belongs to all of us, this beach. But yeah, I'll take you to some pretty magical places next year. So there's a couple of places that I want to go and stay on my bucket list next year if I can't travel overseas. I've optimistically written in Christmas in Singapore at the end of next year, because my brother, it'll be the end of their first year in Singapore, but obviously that's going to depend on what happens with COVID. And I don't think Australia's necessarily out of the woods yet. I hope we are, but I just keep thinking Australia's done incredibly well, but there'll be some sort of fuckery. It just can't keep happening like it is overseas and not affect Australia a bit more. I don't know. I don't want it to, but any travelling next year is going to be completely and utterly defined by COVID. So yeah, I'm watching these people just driving around random countries in camper vans, and I love an animal rescue story, but when it's like a hot dude in a camper van and he's like, oh, it's, sitting around the fire pot, and this little kitten just walked up to me and we're best friends now. I'm driving all over the world with this cat in my van. It's pretty fucking cute to see her. So it's a special one, isn't it? It's actually today. It's not. I mean, it is a little bit salty, but it's not as salty as usual because there's not a lot of kelp on the beach. There's a little bit of this sort of fine, wispy seaweed, whatever that is. But it's a pretty special spot. It's so warm down here. There's no way it's only 23 degrees. I do not believe Google at all. I know, you guys, Cass, I feel so sorry for what's going on there. It's just, I don't know if you were in my live the other day, but because a YouTuber's partner had died of COVID, a channel did a sort of memorial, which was a very nice idea. But during that sort of memorial, the creators on that panel sort of started lecturing everyone, it's an American channel, about how important it is to take COVID seriously. I swear to God, if I'd been holding a glass or a mug or anything, I would have dropped it and it would have smashed on my floor. I couldn't believe it. I was just standing there going, I mean, this creator was like, you know, almost speaking like it was her own idea that people needed to start taking this seriously. And it's like, what the fuck? Why hasn't anyone been taking it seriously since it was declared a global pandemic back in March? Now, I know a lot of my friends in America have been taking it seriously since March, but I was absolutely blown away to hear this creator sort of saying, you know, we've all got to use sanitizer, wash our hands, wear our masks. I'm like, why haven't you been? I mean, it's this bug can only survive by backpacking on human beings and jumping from human being to human being. And not that Australia's managed to have no cases, but we've had very few because everyone went completely nuts. So our government's conservative and the state government where I live is conservative as well. And we've managed to keep incredibly low figures. We haven't even had, don't get me wrong, the 900 plus deaths we've had is 900 plus too many, but the whole country hasn't had 1,000 deaths. And there's like states in America that are getting more new cases every day than Australia's had total. And you guys are getting it every day. It's unbelievable. I agree. The US, UK, and Europe are in big trouble. Yeah, One Bike, One World is one of the ones I watch, Planet Sunshine. It's so cute. There's so many of them, though. There's not so many, but there's at least a dozen that I follow. Just type dudes travelling in camper vans into the search bar on YouTube, and like I said, I start watching them. I'm like, oh God, I hope they find a little animal along the way that they rescue. And I'm kind of inspired by One Bike, One World, and there's quite a few that have collected animals. I mean, some of them will actually take them to the nearest town and take them to the vet because, you know, they're often injured. Yeah, I'm sending out so many positive thoughts to you guys to be going through it again. Like, we've had no real experience. I mean, the closest we've had was Victoria going into lockdown, and it proved to be incredibly effective. We've now got some clusters in New South Wales that are a bit of a problem. But it's so hard watching on from over here and seeing what you guys are going through. And all my friends in the UK and the US, I talk to, you know, a lot of you guys here on YouTube, but also I've got a lot of friends I chat to offline. I've had a couple of friends of mine come up on panel and talk about what they've been experiencing, because I think Australians really don't. I mean, we can certainly be empathetic, and I feel for you guys, but to actually be living it, I can't imagine. I really can't. Exactly, Ruth. We've actually got a rule in my childcare community on Facebook that any COVID deniers are removed from the group, because
had so many people in our group, and especially in recent months, not so much earlier this year, but the number of people I know now in the States that have either had it or know someone who's currently fighting it or has lost a family member or a friend to it compared to the start of the year, like it's mind-blowing. It makes you realise just how massive the problem is when, like I live on the other side of the world and I've got friends in the US who've been personally affected by it. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, the COVID deniers. So, yeah, my group, there's a lot of members who've had it and they've lost family members and friends. So, the other ones and I, it is meant to be a non-censor group. I'll turn it's facing that way. Sorry. Good jockey. I was just sitting there with my skirt like wide open, my gut, my knickers, all of it on display, and no wonder they were all looking at me. Hopefully they were looking at the camera. Yeah, see, 8 months. That's crazy, Francesca. I got to say, though, I loved when we never went into lockdown here, but we were self-isolating for a while. I liked it. I liked being at home, and I liked. There's a guy walking on the water at the moment with 2 dogs who is like just his silhouette and build and everything is a spitting image of my friend Scott, whose anniversary is tomorrow. He died 3 years ago. Just there, you see him. 2 dogs. Your US freedoms are coming back to bite you. Yeah, but what freedoms did you guys have that made you guys think that you wouldn't get reaped by COVID-19? Do you know what I mean? Like what? The COVID deniers are, it's impinging on my rights. It's like, yeah, but your actions are killing innocent people who are doing the right thing. You don't have a right to kill. So maybe your right to freedoms could just sit on the back burner for the moment, because this isn't about your individual rights anymore. This is about global responsibility, right? You're either a global citizen and you give a fuck about everybody else as well, or you're a selfish freak. That's basically what COVID's taught me. So you've been out 4 times, Ruth. I guess, I mean, we had, all of us, I mean, it wasn't hard re-emerging from self-isolation in a lot of respects. A lot of us just kept doing what we've been doing anyway, but it took me a little while just to learn to socialise again and have conversations with people outside of YouTube and Zoom and on the phone. So I can't imagine what it's been like for you guys when you finally get to re-emerge and do what you've got to do. Yeah, exactly. You're right to life before they're right to miss you. I agree, Cass, entirely. Like, I've been saying, I don't know if you can see this dog. It's waiting for its ball to be thrown at it. It's just like it's frozen. Yeah, I've been saying on my channel for a long time that, there's 2 types of people in the world, and COVID's taught us that there's either the I wants or the we needs. And I'm so glad I'm a we needer. But yeah, Ruth, I can't imagine. Like, so many people are going to want to just become or remain isolated and sort of become hermits and just stay at home. Because after a while, when that becomes your norm, like, it's a big brave new world out there that you're all going to have to emerge out into and, sort of suss it all out and get that rhythm happening again that cities and countries have. And
Yeah, listen to your neighbour, Ruth. We don't want you emerging from your cocoon. Yeah, do you have a little garden that you can go and sit in? I know a lot of people that live in apartments in Melbourne regretted not paying a little bit extra for ones that had balconies during lockdown. I couldn't do that. I would really struggle. No, I mean, I couldn't stay in hotels that didn't have balconies, windows, doors that opened. But yeah, being confined to these apartments, like you'd see the Chinese apartment blocks when the virus was first spreading, and they went into lockdown, and they were actually taping up the doors to stop people leaving their apartments. And they're on the 38th floor, no fresh air. Oh my God, that would really. I felt for people that were in quarantine hotels that didn't have fresh air. I'll end this shortly and go and feed my little biscuiter, who's been an absolute delight in the last few days while I've been a little bit mopey. I won't be, even though it's the anniversary of Scott's death tomorrow, it gets to the end of December and it's just like, I just think of everyone I know with love, whether they're still with me or not. And New Year's Eve, I will be going to town to catch up with a couple of friends and then coming back down here and seeing in the new year if I can be bothered staying up that late. I really can't. With some friends at the pub. The pub, I took my friends who lived in Hawaii. We went to the Dodgers Ferry pub last year for New Year's Eve, and I said, look, they do great food. It's a good pub. There's a live band. Home's just up the road. If we change our minds or whatever, we can always go back to my place. We had the best fucking night. So, yeah, I'm going to do the same. $10 cover to get in, and live music. The meals are dirt cheap, like $15, and it's amazingly good food because everything they do that needs to be crumbed, they use panko breadcrumbs. So good. Oh my God, my panko breadcrumb stuffing I did in turkey was sensational. I'm going to make a little turkey curry for dinner. I've nearly eaten. I sent my family home with so many bags of leftovers, but I'm finally at the end of mine now. I'm glad you had that, Cass. Oh, well, at least you've got a little spot, though, that you can go and sit in, Ruth. There'd be lions in the undergrowth and heffalumps. I think if you've got a little spot that you can get some fresh air, everyone can have it, anyone that can have that little space or that little spot. Not saying that you would have an easier time, but having that would be such a joy. I know even when we were self-isolating, I loved that. I kept thinking if we went into lockdown, I love that I've got a deck and I've got herbs and things growing out there, and I've got a bit of outdoor space where I can potter. Oh, look, Planet Sunshine's really good at cutting down weeds. Oh, my God. And you too. How's Doodle Cop doing? Oh, my God, guys. Do you ever, shave one leg and forget to shave the other one? I did that today. I'd forgotten about that. I'm blaming Mem because she'd think it's hilarious. Like, if anyone was actually looking at me at close range, they'd be like, wow, that's a look tall. I'm not very hairy, but yeah, one leg is much They're both quite bad. I must have done a rushed job. In fact, I think the last time I shaved my legs was Christmas Eve when I had the pap smear. Because Christmas Day they still looked all right. And I found out about mem dying on Christmas Eve. I know I've had showers. I know I washed my hair yesterday, but I don't think I've shaved my legs since Christmas Eve. See, Francesca, I'm going to head up through the dunes to, oh, yuck, apartments in the middle. Oh, no, couldn't do it, couldn't do it. Yeah, I love your doodle cock. And your doodle cock loves your doodle cock too. All right, beautifuls, thanks for coming and hanging out with me on the beach. I'm going to head up through the dunes, feed my biscuit. I might make the turkey curry, but I don't know if I'm going to actually eat it. I kind of feel like a salad because it's so warm still. But I love you guys. Stay groovy. Thank you for hanging out. It's nice to have some company. I'm definitely feeling better every day. I've lost so many people in my life, but Mem's death really hit me, and I have really been just walking around for the last 3 days just going, do something. And I said, but I don't know what I want to do. So I really appreciate you guys all hanging out. It means a lot to me. And I hope that, oh, how nice tracks these are. I don't have any either, but they're dark and they're spiky. I mean, nobody else would know. You wouldn't, if you walk past me right now on the beach, you would be like, she's got hairy legs. They're not like that. Just a few spikes on one leg and the other one's a bit bald. Maybe they're growing back irregularly. Maybe I have shaved them since I only shaved one. So I shaved one this morning. I can't remember. Still in a bit of a funk, but I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. And if the exchange in return is to hang out down on the beautiful beach, then thank you very much for hanging out. And the countdown's on now till the 4th of Jan when I get my main channel back, and I'll start doing some really fun stuff. I've got some topics that I want us to chat about, and we'll leave the communities. I mean, it's up to you guys. You guys can all keep going wherever you want, but the communities where we all met, I'm grateful for them because they brought us all together. But yeah, I'm not taking many of them with me into the new year. Hot guys in camper vans with cats. That's what it's all about. And the hokey pokey. Until next time, stay groovy. Don't get scammed, anyone. Taking down Christmas. I don't take mine down till the 6th of January, Mercedes Girl, because that's the 12 days of Christmas. People always think it's the 12 days leading up to Christmas. It's the 12 days after. So our family tradition was to take the decorations down after the 12 days of Christmas. Yeah, my main channel will be back. The strike expires on the 4th of Jan. So, woo-hoo! It's going to be rebranded. It's going to be Traces of Nuts, brackets Tasmania, and we're going to do some stuff. We're going to travel. We're going to cook. When there's cooking, it's Traces of Nuts, brackets Taz, I think. I want to put Tasmania somewhere. It might just be a hashtag. It might just be Traces of Nuts. But there'll be cooking and lots of showing off Tassie, and also having some really cool forums where we can talk about topics. Things that people say and do that, you know, what does it really mean? Are they things we should stop doing? You know, are some expressions actually more hurtful than helpful? I'll give you an example before I sign off. So, yeah, I know. Well, I was always going to get it back. It was just going to take, I had to sit out the 90 days. I'll never be clicking on a link again, though, on that one. I don't mind paying musos for music, but not one muso's ever struck me, but that fucking fucker in Melbourne struck me when I played a Vegemite commercial that he doesn't even technically own. All right, I'm going to give you an example. So the term thinking of you. Now, with Mem dying, I don't normally post on Facebook about people dying. But because I was in a bit of a funk yesterday and it was a cry for help, I really just wanted to talk to someone. So I'd been playing Foo Fighters for Mem and put a link to a Foo Fighters song. So this is for you, Mem, I'll never forget you. And then I just said something like, I'd really love a chat. Or is someone around to chat? Or something like that. And a lot of people commented on my Facebook post, but they didn't call me. And that's all I really wanted. And I wasn't up for calling it. I just wanted to talk to someone. So anyway, I ended up taking the post down because a few people on there wrote thinking of you, and it really affected me. It was like, why do we say that? We say that to make ourselves feel better. Because if someone's thinking about me, then call me. If I think about a friend in my everyday, if I've got time and someone's name pops into my head, the first thing I do is pick up my phone and call them. Thinking of you I actually find really quite hurtful because it was coming from people that I was like, you actually want to chat to someone. I don't want you just writing on Facebook thinking of you. It's a bit like thoughts and prayers. It's making them feel better because they've acknowledged it, but they're not like, fuck, Tor is blue and in a funk, I'll call her. If you rang someone and they didn't answer the phone and you knew they were down in the dumps and you said, oh my God, I'm thinking of you, this is awful, that's different. But yeah, so, chatting about stuff like that, like when and where are those sorts of things appropriate? It's not that it's inappropriate, it's a habit that a lot of people are in. But I don't think they realise how it impacts on the recipient of it. And I spoke to one of my friends today who did actually put that on my Facebook post, and she said she'd had a really shitty day too because it's around the anniversary of her mum's death and mum's funeral. And I was like, yeah, but we were both sitting, we're super close friends, and we're both sitting in our own houses feeling like shit, and we love each other at our best and our worst. Like, we've got to stop this. We've just got to call each other. One of us has got to go, fuck it. Like, I ended up bringing a friend of mine, and the first thing she said was, I'm in a really bad fucking mood. So, and she didn't know anything about Mem dying or me being blue. I'm in a really bad mood, so don't expect me to be nice. And it just made me laugh. I was like, you're perfect. You're perfect. Not that it snapped me out of my mood, but it was just the perfect person for me to speak to. And she was incredibly sweet and said some lovely stuff, and I loved her. I rang a couple of people and I went straight to their message bank because that's pretty much how people roll these days. And thank fuck one of them rang me back. But yeah, her opening line, I'm in a really bad mood, so don't expect me to be nice. I was like, well, I'm not expecting you to be anything. I'm just in a funk. Another friend of mine's died. And then we had this amazing chat. So, yeah. One more panoramic thing. As the sun starts to, not that it sets for another 5 hours down here in summer. The sun sets at 10 p.m. in Tasmania in summer. It's beautiful. But I'm going to love you and leave you guys. Thank you again. I really appreciate you hanging out with me. It means a lot. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Oh, so New Year's Eve, I will be doing things on literal like New Year's Eve Australia time. I've got a barbecue to go to on New Year's Day, but I don't know what time that is yet. But I'm planning on going live on New Year's Day morning, so it'll be New Year's Eve for you guys. And we're going to have a bit of a chat about the good things this year has taught us, and the planet. And I'd like us to end the year reflecting on, the lessons we've learned, the things that we've changed about our behaviour, even if it's just down to something simple like I call friends more than I used to, whatever it might be. So we all have some happy little memories of the year as well. We don't get to New Year's Eve and just go, fuck 2020, fuck off. I've never been one of those people. I think it's offensive to anyone that's had a shitty year, just because a lot of people had a shitty year this year and they're all fuck off. 2020, but like and I get it, there's a lot of people that are entitled to be saying fuck off 2020 this year, but I don't like the year all the celebrities kept dying, whatever the year that was. Was it 2000 and, the year like David Bowie and a heap of people all died the same year. Alan Arkin, all these people died. And it was the year George Michael died on Christmas Day that year. But this year can get fucked. And it's like, why? Oh, all these celebrities have died. Well, you didn't know any of them. Perspective, people. Now, this year, a lot of people have lost family members, and I can sense that. But even in the years when my parents died, and even this year with Mem dying, last week, and another friend of mine that died earlier in the year in Adelaide, Michelle, who I didn't get to go to Adelaide to say goodbye to. Like that for me, they were my losses and a family member, but my brother-in-law's family. But there are other people that are having their first Christmases and New Years without, chunks of their family. It's fucking awful. So if any of my little friends here in privileged Australia, where we've had it pretty easy, are like, fuck off 2020, we're like, yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe it is all relative. Maybe everyone's entitled to feel that way, but I think we've all learned good shit this year. And the fact we've all made it to the end of the year is a reason to celebrate. The year you were supposed to die, Ruth, and you didn't. Well, I mean, hello. Party on, Groover. Not ready to lose you and Doodlecock, mate. So, yeah, let's have some things we've learned in 2020 that were positive despite all the shit. I mean, the whole planet has experienced this pandemic together. We've all witnessed it together. We've all seen the horrors of how it's affected some countries. Like, I feel the world is so much closer because of it. And I think that everyone must have something positive they've learned. Even if it's they're really good at baking or they're really bad at baking, there's got to be something. So that's what we're going to do. And until then, I might go live again tomorrow. I'm having another gentle day. I'll contemplate what I want to do New Year's Eve proper, and then, yeah, I'll see you all round the traps. You stay groovy, peeps, because you fucking are. Love you guys.